Let's talk about being reborn. This is very complementary to previous videos that I've done when I've been talking about different timelines and moving into different timelines. This is very congruent with where we are right now on the planet. It's Easter time, Good Friday's tomorrow. It's very, very, very apt to talk about this now, energetically, symbolically, from a spiritual stance as well. Bringing in the story of Jesus, and I love the whole symbology of Jesus and his story and how we can relate it to what's going on within us right now. And I feel I come away from looking at the story of Jesus from an historical point, but I always tune into the symbolic nature of that teaching, of him as a person, but of him as a symbolic representation of what is going on within us and the potentiality for our dreams and manifestations coming into reality. And that process that we're all going through, more unconscious and more conscious, more unconscious, more conscious, of this, like this death of the old self, this old self, this old story that we are now waking up to, this survival paradigm. I talk about the survival paradigm a lot, and it is within that survival paradigm which has created this old story, this old man, this old person story. And in the Bible they talk about the story, it's the story of the old man. This old story that no longer fits where we are right now on planet Earth. We are in this precipice of a massive awakening on the planet. And with that awakening, we're coming into massive realizations of what we do not want anymore. And what we really, really most desire when it comes to our heart desires. We start to really tune into that now. It's becoming really, really obvious what we do not want. And because we've been telling the old story for so long, that is the main ingredient why we keep getting delivered the same outcome. It's a really, really important thing and truth to really let sink into your consciousness right now. Everything that is happening to us is due to the story that we've been telling ourselves individually and collectively. And it's from that old story which has created and manifested all the destruction that we have experienced up to this point. And we know that very intimately within our own journey. We've all, especially people say, feeling like they're on some kind of path when it comes to awakening. There's lots of turbulence going on. There's lots of stuff happening. There's lots of dysfunction. There's lots of discord. There's lots of inharmony, which is just feeling like a lot. It's feeling like a lot to such a degree that we no longer want that. We're actually at this point now where we are ready, and potentially more on an unconscious level, ready to start embracing the idea of telling the new story. And with that telling of the new story comes with the journey of our own individual healing journey. Because this story that we've been telling ourselves is very much influenced by what is going on deeply within us. And we can bring it into a nervous system perspective as well when it comes to this really profound old story. It's deep within our DNA. It's deep within the mechanics of who we are and what we are from a human physiological standpoint. Deep in our DNA, this is here, this story that's so ingrained in it's brazened into our consciousness and nervous system. But due to this human quality of suffering, which seems to be the precursor to a change of story, we have a lot of that going on at the minute. We have lots of discord going on within our own lives and as a collective as well. But it's all beckoning us into new realizations of the power of what is happening within us and how profoundly that's impacting our world, reality, and human experience. The whole teachings of, let's say, the resurrection, the crucifixion and the resurrection, it's all so symbolic of this moment that's happening right now on planet Earth. We don't go back in time. We don't need to go and dwell in the past and in the historical documents. We just need to be aware of the symbolic nature of what is happening now within each individual on the planet. And there's such a varying degree. Some people you'd observe that are not on this journey at all. That, let's say, people that would potentially could be labelled that are slightly more asleep. I'm tiptoeing around my terminology when I speak about that. But that's okay, because people who feel like they're following this path, where everyone's helping each other out. Everyone is helping each other begin this process of telling the new story and coming away from the old story. And there's so many prophecies, there's so many messages that were from the past which talk about this moment in time. We can say there's a lot going on galactically, but really there's actually lots and lots, much more going on within each individual. And the energetic process of the crucifixion and the resurrection and the rebirth is happening within us right now. The collective consciousness of humans is moving through a massive juncture in human history. David Hawkins did a really powerful discovery with his research when it comes to studying consciousness. And he discovered there was a really big turning point in the late 80s, around 1986, where the collective consciousness of humankind, for the first time ever, transitioned into a place of power. Whereas before we moved into a collective positive charge, but where previously, up to that point, for many thousands of years, we'd been in a negative charge. But there was this subtle shift which came unspoken, unnoticed within the physical realm, but energetically, what he discovered, there was this big shift, which is represented with the map of consciousness, which is the survival paradigm and the line across the middle which is 200, which is courage. As a collective, we went over that. And prophesied is the awakening of Christ consciousness, which was said to be coming into this golden age around the turn of the century. And David Hawkins had so many discoveries which proved many of these prophecies to be correct. This is one of them. And it's with this shift in consciousness, which is moving collectively and then expressed individually as well, from the old story into this new story, this new paradigm, a new way of being. So I always talk about things being a really powerful time to be alive. And we have this now, and this is why this acceleration process is happening. We're moving forward what appears to be quantum speeds, quantum leaps are happening within us. So much is coming up to the surface to help guide us through this moment. It's almost like we're individually and collectively being upgraded massively energetically. And we can see this with what's going on in the external world. When we go through this like evolutionary shift, there was always going to be mass amounts of discord as well. I read a quote from Carl Jung where he said there is this order behind disorder, and we need that. We need this disorder for there to be order. I think it may have been Alan Watts, actually. I'm misquoting here when he talks. The disorder is necessary for the manifestation of order, and that is it. This multi-layered tapestry going on right now. And it's through this big evolutionary shift is why we're experiencing so much discord in harmony within our own lives, but with that collective energy as well. So really treat this and honor this rebirth moment Really feel into where you are. Know the potential for your life. Just know the magic of this time that we are in right now. Know and feel into that massive collective energetic shift that we've now moved into, which was at the turn of the century in the late 80s, and now we're in 2025. We're in this space, like we can feel it. I feel like I've been through multiple lives, multiple rebirths in just my 41 years right now. And that's what makes me so excited for what's to come. My energy's going up. I feel better than I did in my early 20s. I felt 100 when I was back then because of everything that was going on. But there's this really weird reversal happening. I feel younger, more energized as I'm getting older. And I've put that a lot down to this shift that we're on, deep within the DNA of us as individuals. So, my friend, this is your time. This is your moment. Really capitalize on this life that you are experiencing right now, because there is so much that you can reclaim, renew, rejoice within this life. You can be reborn as many times as you like. You can have the power to set your intention to wherever you want to go, or whatever you want to be. My friend, I'm sending you so much love. I hope you've had an absolute blast these last few days. And I already can't wait to see you in the next video.